Hi friends, today our topic is columns and strut. What is the definition of column? It is a vertical structural member which is subjected to axial compressive load and both of ends are fixed or rigidly when subjected to axial load. The member is known as column. You see here the vertical structural member is subjected to axial compressive load. The both ends are fixed or rigidly. The member is known as column. The best example of column is vertical pillar between roof and floor. You see here the roof slab and this is the floor. The vertical pillar between roof slab and floor is known as the column. This is the one of the best example of column. Number 2, strut. If the member of the structure is not vertical, it means horizontal or inclined, and one or both of its ends are hinged or pin joined, the bar is known as strut. You see here, this is an inclined member, this is the horizontal member. In case vertical is there, that is called as column. Inclined and horizontal member is there, that is called as strut. You see one more time, if the member of the structure is not vertical, means horizontal or inclined, and one or both of ends are hinged or pin joined, the bar is known as strut. In the strut, best example is connecting of the rod and piston of the rod. Best example is connecting of the rods and piston of the rods. Next topic, failure of columns and types of columns. In these two topics, learn before you can study about slenderness ratio. What is the slenderness ratio? It is the ratio of effective length to the least radius of gyration. What is the slenderness ratio? It is the ratio of effective length to the least radius of gyration. It's denoted by the letter is lambda. It's denoted by letter is lambda. Hence, mathematically, the slenderness ratio written as effective length divided least radius of gyration. The effective length, the symbol is L suffix E. The least radius of gyration symbol is K. Now discuss about effective length and least radius of gyration. Number 1, least radius of gyration. The least radius of gyration K is equal to I by A. What is the I? I is equal to moment of inertia. What is the I? I is equal to moment of inertia. A is equal to area of cross section. Second one, effective length. Effective length is also called as equivalent length. Let's see where is end conditions of the column. Number 1, both ends is fixed. You see here both ends is fixed. That time effective length is equal to normal length. What is that? Effective length is equal to normal length when both ends is fixed. Second one end is fixed and another end is free. That time effective length LE is equal to 2 times of normal length. You see here, one end is fixed and another end is free. That time effective length is 2 times of normal length. Third one, both ends are fixed. Both ends are fixed. You can see here in top also fixed and bottom also fixed. That time effective length LE is equal to half of the normal length. So both ends is fixed. That time effective length is equal to L by 2. Fourth one end is fixed and other end is hinged. That time effective length LE is equal to L by root 2. Let's see one more time. One end is fixed, another end is hinged. That time effective length LE is equal to L by root 2. Fourth one, types of columns. Generally, types of columns is three types is there. Number one, long columns. Number two, intermediate columns. Number three, short columns. Let's see one by one. Number one, long column. When the ratio of effective length to the least radius of gyration is greater than 45, then it's called as long columns. At the same time, when the ratio of effective length of the column to the least lateral dimensions is exceed 12 means greater than 12, it is called as long column. Let's see this diagram. You can understand long column. A long column is subjected to bending moment in additional to direct compressive stresses. The load carrying capacity of long column is less than a short column. Generally, the load carrying capacity of long column is less than the short column. The load carrying capacity of long column depending upon slenderness ratio. The load carrying capacity of long column is depending upon slenderness ratio. In case the slenderness ratio increase, then load carrying capacity of the column is decrease. Since mathematically we can written as LE by K is greater than 45, LE by D is greater than 12. LE is the effective length, K is the least radius of gyration. At the same time, here also LE is the effective length, D is the least lateral dimension. Next, you can see here short column. When the length of the column is less as compared to the cross-sectional dimension, it is called as short column. Same thing, the length of the column is greater than compared to the cross-sectional dimension is called as the long column. Now you see, when the ratio of effective length to the least radius of gyration is less than 45, then the column is called short column. Same thing, the ratio of effective length of the column to the least lateral dimension of the column is less than 12, it is called as short column. Greater than 12 is called long column, greater than 45 is called long column, less than 12 is called short column, less than 45 is called short column. You can see the diagram, you can understand short column. The load carrying capacity of the short column is greater than the long column. Since mathematically you can written as LE by K is less than 45, at the same time LE by D is less than 12. Now see what is a crushing load. Generally you can apply the load from short column. Which type of failure is coming? crushing failure. At the same time, you can apply the load from the long column. Which type of failure is coming? Buckling failure. This is short column. You can give the load. Which type of failure is coming? Crushing failure. Long column, which type of failure is coming? Buckling failure. C. Intermediate column. Column having slenderness ratio lies between 32 to 120 are known as intermediate column. Please subscribe my channel for latest video purpose. Thank you.